My name is Christina Kohler-Colucci. I'm the head of business advisory at Woodburn Accountants and Advisors. And in today's episode, we are going to be looking at how to create your China budget and decide on the right registered capital for your China investment. Budgets, for those that are not numbers people, can be seen as imposing constraints that are hard to live with and establishing goals that are hard to meet. So why is it important to create a budget for your China business? The issue of not creating a budget means that you have the inability to plan. A business that doesn't know where its money is coming from or where it is going to isn't in a position to expand, take advantage of investment opportunities, or even make long-term commitments to suppliers and customers. It can be losing existing business if the unforeseen happens, like the power being turned off or shipment of goods being delayed. Not having financial records in order can also mean the denial of operating loans, the purchase of equipment, or the ability to bid on government projects and government contracts. So, what are the benefits of budgeting for your operation in China? The first one is that it gives you control of your company and your money. A budget is a way of being intentional about the way you spend and save your money. It is said that with budgeting, you control your money and not your money controlling you. Budgeting saves you the stress of suddenly having to adjust to lack of funds because you did not initially plan on how to spend them. In regards to number one, you do need to have a financial controller being there to control your money. Two, it keeps you focused on your revenue goals or budgetary goals, right? You avoid spending unnecessarily on items and services that do not contribute to attaining your financial goals. If you're working with limited resources, budgeting makes it easier to make ends meet. It also makes you aware of what is going on with your money. You are clear on what money is coming in, how fast it's going out, where it is going to. Budgeting saves you from wondering every end of the month where your money went. And a budget also enables you to know what you can afford, what you can take advantage of buying and investing in, and plan how to lower your debt. It also tells you what is important to you based on how you allocate those funds, how your money is working for you, and how far you are towards reaching your goals. It helps you to organize your spending and your savings. It makes you decide in advance how that money is going to work for you. It enables you to save for expected or unexpected costs, like emergency funds. It enables you to communicate with investors, board members, your team about your money issues. Remember, it teaches everybody to spend responsibly. It also keeps everybody accountable for their goals in their own department and in their own division. It also provides you with early warnings for potential problems. When you budget and take a big picture view, you will see potential money problems in advance and be able to make adjustments before the actual problem appears. It also helps you to determine if you can take debt on and how much debt, and enables you also to produce extra money, especially if you think about limiting your costs or increasing revenue levels. It ultimately gives you control over your registered capital. And the biggest question for many people is, what is registered capital? There are two numbers which need to be provided to the Ministry of Commerce when you are incorporating your entity. It's the total investment amount and the registered capital amount. The total investment reflects the total capital required to develop and run the company. The registered capital, which is the capital amount used to start up the business until the company has a positive cash flow status. There are no minimum capital requirements in China for either numbers, but it is important for each company to calculate their projected budget and cash flow needs. With that projected budget and cash flow need, you should understand or you should invest sufficient funds to sustain the company until you expect to become cash flow positive. Too many investors spend too much time finding ways to minimize their capital investments, only to find out that the business expenses are greater than anticipated. Let's face it, operating in China is no longer cheap. Office rent is expensive. The remuneration of experienced, well-trained employees can rival now any developed country. So costs are rising. The Ministry of Commerce and the Chinese tax bureaus like to see companies that have registered capitals of more than 1 million RMB. If you are also bidding for government projects or even to work with state-owned companies, they also prefer to see that you have a registered capital of at least 1 million RMB. It is important to calculate how much capital you need during your startup phase and make this your registered capital, meaning that you don't have to abide by this tip that I just mentioned, where I say people like to see it. If you don't need it, you don't need it. So don't put it in. Okay. How to create your budget, right? What do you need to consider? One is revenue. Sales or revenue forecasts are typically based on a combination of sales history and how effective you expect your future efforts to be. Costs, typically your business will have 3 kinds: fixed costs, rent, salary, financing; variable costs, raw materials, overtime; and one-off capital costs, right? The purchasing of computer equipment, premises, etc. To forecast your costs, contact your suppliers. Using your sales and expenditure forecasts, you can prepare projected profits for the next 12 months. This will enable you to analyze your margins and other key ratios, such as your return on investment. To finish off, I just want to highlight 4 things. 1, don't rush yourself. Your business budget isn't something you can haphazardly throw together in a couple of hours. To do it right, you'll need to take the time to partner with your management team and align the budget with the strategy, even if it takes longer than you like. Also, think about getting it validated by advisors on the ground who've got years of experience creating budgets and understanding what market value is. Be conservative. Enthusiasm is great, but not when the results are going to disappoint you. When in doubt, it is a good idea to be more conservative, leave some slack and wiggle room in your projections and within your budget in case sales goals are not reached or are actually delayed. Start early. Fiscal years in China are January to December. Start your annual budgeting process in October so that it gives you sufficient time to ensure the best detailed estimate by the year end. And then last but not least, number 4, monitor, reevaluate, and reforecast. Once you complete the budgeting process, the biggest mistake you can make is file it away only to pull it out at the year end. A budget should be monitored on a monthly basis or sometimes even on a weekly basis for smaller companies. Budgets should be edited if circumstances changed. They should be reviewed against your actual financial results. This will help you to monitor your spending throughout the year and help management make decisions in case they have to pivot the business in any other direction. I hope today's video has helped you. If you are in doubt or if you need help to validate your budget, or you've got simply questions that you just want to get a brainstorming idea in, we're providing you a link to our diary. We're offering you a free 15-minute complimentary call to see if we can be of assistance. If you enjoyed today's video, please press that like button. Please share our episodes. Our goal is to help as many entrepreneurs, leaders, foreign investors with being successful in China and just eliminating some of those obstacles that come along their journey. Lastly, if you would like to learn more about Woodburn, please head on over to our website, woodburnglobal.com. You'll find a full list of our services plus additional free resources in the form of ebooks, podcast links, as well as our short articles. We wish you a fantastic day. Take care and goodbye.